So you're a beginner who wants to get into the stock market. I'm going to give you a quick, easy explanation on how to do research on a stock and how to pick winning stocks. Our first step is that we're going to try to understand the business. So we've picked a bunch of stocks that we potentially want to invest in, and now we're going to do our research. So we're going to figure out what the company does, what they sell, what products and services they have, how they make money, and we're going to look just at a broad overview of the executive team. So I've selected Microsoft as an example for this whole video. The first thing I did was went on the Microsoft website and I just pulled up all their products. Just a broad overview of all Microsoft services. There's obviously more than this, but I'm just giving you an example here. This is how you would do it. Then you can head over to Yahoo Finance up top here and just search in the business name or the ticker. The ticker for Microsoft is MSFT. And then we're going to get onto the Microsoft page. And from here, we go to Profile, just right under the information here. And in the profile, we have all the executives. We also have some information about the company and what they do. But most importantly, we're going to look up the CEO and some of the executives and just see if they're reputable, check for anything that could be concerning. So now we're going to take a look at the stock information. That's step number 2. We look on the home page, on the summary page of Yahoo Finance after we look up the ticker. So what do we see here? We see the price as of close. The closing price at the end of the stock market session, that's the price of one share. And over here is the after hours price. The difference is this price, the after hours price, is what the stock is worth after close. For our purpose, we're just going to use the closing price. We can skip previous close, open, bid, and ask. These aren't really useful for long-term investments. The days range as well, that's not really that important. However, the 52-week range is important. So it's basically saying over the past year, what was the minimum and maximum price of the stock. So it's a good way to see how the stock performed over a year. So looking at Microsoft, the minimum price was $213 and the max was $323. And you can see that the current price of $227 is very close to the minimum price. So that should give you an indication of where we are right now in the year. Another important thing here is volume. We've got volume and average volume. The volume is the amount of shares that were traded in the session. So today, 27,300,000 shares were traded. If you want to figure out what that is in dollars, just multiply this number by the share price by 227 and you'll get the volume. Average is just averaged out over a period of time. This is important for smaller companies or stocks that aren't traded as much. If that volume is close to zero, you're not going to be able to cash out because no one's trading the stock. The market cap is the total company valuation. So it is calculated by taking the share price and multiplying it by the total amount of shares. So that'll give you basically the value of the entire company. So Microsoft is worth around 1.7 trillion. The beta, PE ratio, and EPS, these kind of advanced. The beta is basically a volatility measure, which means if it's less than 1, the stock is less volatile. If it's over 1, the stock is more volatile. So in Microsoft's case, 0.93. If the market went up 1%, that means Microsoft went up 0.93%. Skippy for now. EPS, that is the earnings per share. So it's basically the company's profit divided by these shares. The PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio, and it's the share price divided by the earnings per share. So that just measures if the company's overvalued or not. The high PE number means a overvaluation. These should be compared with similar companies in the same industry. You're not going to compare Microsoft with some gas company, or they need to be compared with the same company. Look at Microsoft's PE ratio from 2 years ago versus now, and you'll see if it's been overvalued or undervalued compared to a previous date in history. The earnings date we can skip. The forward dividend yield. So we want to know if the company has a dividend, which means they're going to be paying you their profits. Microsoft is paying 1.22% as of now. So if you own $100 of stock, you'll make $1.22 a year. But the dividend can change. You just want to make sure you check that. And the ex-dividend date, that's just what date you need to buy the share to qualify for the dividend. And this target here, that's just a price prediction made by Yahoo. It's unnecessary. I don't know why it's there. The third step, now we're going to take a look at the company's financials. So we're going to head over to the financials section on Yahoo Finance. This is all on Yahoo Finance. You don't need to pay for any subscriptions or anything. Just use the free information that's here. It's all public. So we're going to look at the income statement and the balance sheet. And then we're going to head over to the statistics tab, and we're just going to take a look at the financial highlights. And you could also look at the other information there as well if you need. Look at the general overview. Like, you don't need to go into depth here. Are the financials strong? Are they making money? And what are they doing with their cash? Can you see revenues, profits? Are the assets growing, and what's their profit margin? So let's take a look at the income statement here. We can see the revenue and the profit. Are they growing year over year? Here we have 2019, 2022. Is this growing? Look at the balance sheet. Are their assets growing? Financial highlights here if you'd like. Profit margin, it's a good one. Make sure that they're making money. What are they doing with their cash? Do they have too much debt? Now, step 4. We're going to head over to the holders tab, and we're going to look at all holders and insider trading, and that's going to help us make a better decision on the investments. We can see the breakdown of all the holders of Microsoft. You can see how much is held by ETFs or institutions or insiders and the public, and then we can look at all the holders here. You can see if lots of ETFs and lots of institutions are invested in your stock, you know that lots of money's in it. You know other people think that it's a good investment as well. Like, what types of ETFs or what types of institutions are invested in it? Is it like pension funds, or is it risky innovation ETFs or things like that? Just check the holders, check what's going on, who holds the stock. It can help you make a decision. Next, look at the insider transactions. Over here, we have the major holders tab. Switch over to insider transactions tab, and you'll see all the insiders, what they're doing with the stock. Are they buying? Are they selling? You can see here that an officer sold at $251 a share. You can see how many shares they sold, 24,000 for 6 million. So you can just go in and see, like, are insiders selling right now? During 2021, 2022, a lot of them sold, if you would have checked. And what does that mean? Well, that means that clearly they think that it's overvalued, they want to cash out. Depends on the situation, but if you see a lot of them selling, then obviously you know that maybe something's up. Now, step 5, you can read news articles. Google the stock or look at Yahoo Finance. They'll show a bunch of articles. Just figure out if there's good news, bad news. Is what they're saying positive or negative? Do they say any important information about the company? Has something bad come out that you didn't know, and now you check the news and something happened with an insider, they did something? Now, finally, we're going to put it all together, see all the positives. Is there growth potential? Is it innovative? Financials good? What negatives do you see? Are there risks? Any concerns that you have with the company? Just put it all into a table. You can make an Excel sheet or write it down if you'd like. Just weigh the pros and cons after looking at all this stuff. Think to yourself, this is important. Would you or do you use their products or services? Determine whether the stock is overvalued or undervalued. If it's overvalued, consider selling. And if it's undervalued, consider buying. So that is how you pick a stock and research it. Thank you for watching the video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.